Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing some meal prepping, which is going to help us stay on our diet and also save some money. So today we're going to be making something called a burrito bowl. This is an E or a crossover meal on Trim Healthy Mama. It's very similar to like the bowls you can get at Chipotle, only honest to goodness, these are actually better. So this comes from their Wisdom collection. It's a new book that Trim Healthy Mama has put out, and it's all kinds of recipes that are just amazing. I've already picked out like 10 of them I want to do videos on. And this is the first one I'm doing. I'm going to be doing a part 2 that I'm going to post in a couple days, and that's going to be a beef and cabbage bowl. And what's really great about these recipes is that we're going to be able to freeze them and have these things on hand so that we can have things ready and available when we're hungry or we're tired and we're trying to skip going to get fast food. This is the secret to success on any diet. It's preparation. So join me. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I do, and let's get cooking. Now the bowls that I'm going to be making are the chicken bowls. So there's a lot of ways you can cook your chicken. You can throw it in an Instant Pot and cook it in a few minutes, but I'm going to throw mine out on the grill. I want to have kind of that charred chicken flavor. I think it'll be really good in a bowl. So let me show you how I prepare it. I like to get my chicken nice and thin. That way I don't have it on there too long, and it just seems to make it a lot more tender. So this is some chicken that I had thawing in the refrigerator. These are just some chicken breasts. Now you can make as little or as much of this as you like. I like to make a little bit for extra meals. We're gonna have some tonight, and then I'm gonna freeze some of this chicken for another meal. So we're gonna make this super easy. So what I like to do is just get my chicken nice and thin. I think what I'm gonna do is just cut it just like this, kind of like you're butterflying it. Now you can make this into 2 pieces, or you can, make it into one big one, whatever works. The whole point is that you're just getting it to the consistency that you like it. Maybe you like to cook yours nice and thick, I don't know, but I just feel like it cooks a lot quicker and faster on the grill if I do it like this. So this is usually how I do it. Pretty simple. All right, then you want to season it before you put it on the grill. Since this is going to be kind of a bowl, like a Mexican bowl, I'm going to use this cilantro lime seasoning. I actually get this at the Dollar Tree, and it's amazing. And just some cracked black pepper. All right, so I'm going to go get my grill heated up, and then I'm going to throw this chicken on the grill. I'll come back as soon as it's done. Now I'm also going to spray just a hair of grapeseed oil on my chicken. I just don't want it to stick to the grill. So I've got my chicken cooking on the grill. I just put some brown rice on the stove to cook. And now I'm going to clean my cauliflower, and I'm going to cook that so that it's all ready to rice for our bowl. So we're going to get all of our actual burrito bowl fixings ready, and then we're even going to set up all the toppings and everything for tonight. So this is going to work out really good. So all I do is I take all of my cauliflower and I just kind of cut it into pieces. I'm going to need to clean it before I steam it, but this part is very easy. Just take all the stems off. I'm going to put my actual cauliflower in here, and then I can just run it under the water and clean it real good. This is just the easiest way I know to make cauliflower rice. It's so simple. And when you mix a little bit of the cauliflower rice with the brown rice, you really have the feeling that you're getting something substantial. It's not like you're just eating cauliflower rice. Now, if you've never used one of these Sistema steamers, I mean, honestly, they're like a life changer. These are so great if you were trying to eat healthy, because you just clean your vegetables, put them in the steamer. It's kind of got water on the bottom, and it's just a little, like maybe 1/2 inch or something. And then you batten down the hatches. You leave this little button open so it can steam the vegetables, and it just comes out perfect every time. I throw this in my microwave for 8 minutes, and this whole thing will be perfectly steamed and ready to eat. So I'm gonna link my Sistema steamer in my description below if anybody's interested. I love this thing. If you've watched any of my videos, you see I use it like 3 or 4 times a week. So I'm gonna drain a couple cans of black beans while I'm waiting for my chicken, my rice, and my cauliflower to cook. So my chicken is all done. As you can see, it just comes out perfect on the grill. I mean, oh, this just is the best seasoning. I just love this cilantro lime for my chicken. This is just 2 chicken breasts. Look how much you get. This is gonna make a couple of meals for my husband and I. So let me set this aside to cool. I'm gonna take it off each other so it doesn't keep heating it up. And I've drained my black beans. So I've got 2 cans of black beans I'm gonna throw in here. So I've also got a can of whole kernel corn. I'm gonna throw that in there. I'm gonna add some seasonings. This calls for 1 tablespoon of chili powder. Put a tablespoon of chili powder in there. And we're also gonna put 1½ teaspoons of ground cumin. We're gonna add ½ teaspoon of mineral salt. All right. Now we're gonna start adding some of our chicken, and we're also gonna be adding some of our riced cauliflower. So the next thing I'm gonna do, now that I've got my cauliflower riced and I've got my brown rice all cooked, I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 cups of my cauliflower rice. There's 2 cups. The rest of it I'm gonna freeze for a separate dish, just as it is. It freezes very nicely like this. So 1 cauliflower, I got all of this for my chicken and rice bowls, and then I've got the rest to add to a casserole or whatever. Now I'm gonna take 2 cups of cooked brown rice. There's 1, 2, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the rice. I'm just gonna set this aside and I'll freeze it just like it is. Now we've got all of our ingredients for our chicken and our rice and our seasonings, and we just want to give this a really good stir so that all those ingredients are stirred up together, especially like the chili sauce and the salt. And I've never made this before. Now this is from the Wisdom Recipes. This is a new book that's put out by Trim Healthy Mama called Wisdom, and these recipes that I'm cooking today or prepping are from, I actually pulled these right off of the Trim Healthy Mama website. So they've got tons of recipes on there, and then of course you can buy the book if you'd rather, you know, have a bigger selection of recipes. So there's our mix, and I have to tell you, I could probably eat a bowl of this by itself. It smells so delicious. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let this cool before I freeze it, but all I wanna do is divide this up into 6 portions. They're all gonna be 6 rounded. It seems like a lot to me, oh my gosh, but I'm gonna divide this up into 6 portions. I'm gonna have 2 of them tonight for my husband and my dinner, and I'm gonna freeze the other 4. And then let me show you how I chop everything up. So tonight it's so easy to throw this bowl together. So the first thing that I do at the beginning of every week is that I always cut up an onion. I don't really like to cut onions. I just don't. So I have an onion chopper. I use this Vidalia chopper, and this is an interesting onion. It's just, look at that. And I'm gonna see what's going on inside of this onion. Kind of a weird looking onion. But that's okay, it's gonna taste delicious. So what I like to do is kind of pre-cut my onions, and then I just put it through my chopper. And what I like is not only does it contain that stuff that makes you cry, it also helps to make everything a uniform size. So I just put this in my chopper. Bam. And I like doing this. I have arthritis pretty bad, and this helps me a lot. And then I shake it. I put it down to the bottom of the shaker, so a half an onion will fill up half of it. So this thing does a whole onion. It works amazing. I love this thing. I honestly couldn't live without this chopper. I'm kind of a person who likes having a lot of gadgets. I don't know why. I always have. And I don't buy things I don't. That's very interesting onion. There's a lot of, like, you know how you get the tough outer skin? Well, I've got that on several areas of the onion, but the onion itself is good. Now, the other secret I do is that I keep these stored in a glass jar. I don't put these in plastic because that onion smell will go all through your refrigerator, then you'll have to deal with that all week. So I have an old pickle jar that I use, but if you have mason jars, I mean, you can use anything. I would just recommend as long as it's glass, so it contains the onion smell. So then all I do is just put all these onions into this jar, and then I have onions for the week. If I want to throw them in my eggs or a casserole or whatever, this just works for me. Put that on, and you will not smell a little bit of onion at all, and your onion's all ready for your burrito bowl. So I don't wash all my lettuce at once. I'm just gonna take out some lettuce for tonight. Okay, so I've got some green onion that I just cut in half. So I've got my lettuce and my cilantro. These are the things I'm just gonna be using tonight. So I'm gonna run those through my salad spinner just because I pretty much drenched everything. So all I'm gonna do is put some paper towels down here, absorb any extra water. I've got my lettuce, just like that. Got my green onions, just like this. And my cilantro, put right over here in the corner. One more piece of lettuce. All right, and then tonight when I make my bowls, I'm just gonna throw it all together, slice everything up, but everything's cleaned and ready to go. Green onions, lettuce, cilantro, and now all I'm gonna do is cut up my jalapeno and my tomatoes. I'm gonna put those in a separate bowl and take some, I also wanna take some salsa out of the freezer. I make my salsa myself, and I make such big batches of it. I have a ton of it frozen. So, all right, so I'm just gonna clean my, well, I've already washed my tomato and my jalapeno. Now I use Roma tomatoes when I make this kind of stuff. It just has less juice in it. So all I'm gonna do at this point is just slice these up. I basically have a tomato for each, my husband and I, each one. And I like to just cut them into kind of medium-sized pieces. And I'm gonna cut up my jalapeno as well. I like a little heat. I don't like a ton of heat, but I do like ancho peppers, and I do love jalapeno peppers. Now, I do take the bulk of the seeds out. I leave a few in just, you know, for kicks and giggles, but I don't leave all the seeds in. That's what makes your jalapenos really hot. All right, so I just cut those up kind of thin. I would recommend using gloves if you're not somebody who's used to handling hot peppers. This, whatever is in the oil and the peppers can get into your skin, and if you rub your eye or your face, or you can be in major pain for some time. So my recommendation is wear gloves. I do the same thing with my meat. I've probably washed this glove now 10 times, but I don't care. I just prefer to always have them on when I'm handling meat or like in this case, meat and peppers. And there you go. Just cut them up however you like them. Now, if you prefer them pickled, you could do that as well. I like them raw personally. All right, so these are all done. I've got most of my toppings ready. Now tonight I'll actually cut my avocado. I will juice my lime, but honestly, that's about it. Now I'm gonna put a little list on the screen and also down below when I give the recipe of the choices you could put in for adding in. So these are the ones that I'm gonna do, but I'll show you my bowl tonight. Since we're talking prep, I just thought I'd show you how I kind of maintain my cilantro for the week. I just bought this yesterday, but I cut off the very tips and then I put this in some water. So all I do is cover it up with the same bag that I bought it. I don't put a rubber band on it or anything like that. I just put it in my side drawer of my refrigerator, just like that. And I have fresh, wonderful cilantro for a week or two. You know how sometimes you'll put cilantro in the refrigerator and 2 days later it's a big gooey mess? You don't have that when you cut off the very ends and put this in your refrigerator like this. I usually put it in the side door with something in front of it so it doesn't fall out if I open the door real fast, and it works like a charm. So I've got these the little quart-sized freezer bags, and I'm just gonna, this is cooled down enough that I can freeze it. And so all I'm gonna do is try to measure this out into 6 equal portions. So I got 3 meals out of 2 pieces of chicken. Holy cannoli. So I just wanted to let you know today that all of the items that I'm using in my kitchen to help me make my food successfully, whether it be appliances or gadgets or whatever, they're going to be listed in the description below. So if you're interested, take a look at those. Well, thank you for joining me for this video today. I hope it was a lot of fun for you. I hope you'll try this meal. Oh my gosh, I hate to start on my next meal because it smells so good in here. So this is something I can't wait to try tonight. I'm going to show it to you in another video on what I eat in a day. And it's amazing. I already sampled it and it's gonna be a really delicious dinner. So if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring the bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time.